Hello, and in this video we are going to be doing segues. So what is a segue? Well, a segue is basically you have a main page. In this case, this is the main page. You press a button, it takes you to a different page, and then you press another button and it takes you to a different page. So at first we are going to do a button which takes you to this page, and then at the end of the video, if you want a challenge, then we can do another button on this page which takes you to another page. So let's get started. So all you need is you just need a new project. So just open up a project. I'm going to make my simulator an iPhone 11. Go on the main.storyboard, click this plus button, add a button. The button could be any one of these. It could be this button, a grey, tinted, or filled. I choose filled. You can change the background by going to the view section on the properties, and you can change the text color. I'm just going to leave it by default. So this is the screen 1. I'm going to add a label. So screen 1. Here's a button. And then what I want to do is just move this, and I want to click the plus button and scroll down up until I find a view controller. Click it and drag it. So a view controller is basically another one of these screens. Obviously a view controller is what you see when you run the app, but I want two for the two different screens. So then what you do is you press the control button on your keyboard. So the one that says CTRL, so you press that, you click with your mouse, you click on this and you drag it over here on the second view controller 2. You let go, and then you should get this. It's an action segue, because what we're doing now is this is called a segue. So then what you do is you present as a popover. So then what that does is that basically just removes this section, because I'll show you after. So now let's just add a label, another label. I'm going to make this screen 2. Let me place it in the middle. And then, so this is the starter. And then what you want to do is we just need to do a bit of code. In fact, we don't do any code. We just need to link the button to some piece of code which automatically puts the code there. It fills it in. So under the plus button, there are these lines. There are loads and loads of lines. You click it and click assistant. Not preview, not layout, assistant. What this does is this basically brings the code from the view controller to the main.storyboard, so we can see both at the same time. So then what do we do is I'm just going to remove this, because what I remove, these are comments. Comments are basically two slashes and then whatever you want to write, because what a comment is, it when the code reads the code, when you run the app and the whole simulator, when it reads the code, it doesn't read these. It doesn't read anything after this, because that's like a comment. It's called a comment. So let's say import UI kit. So now I want to comment that saying a UI kit is the default import type for the view controller, meaning this import UI kit. If I don't have this, if I delete that, then all of this code will not run, because this code here, this code needs import UI kit, and then this code can run. So now what you do is you just make a few spaces here. And what you do is you hit down the control button and you hover over this button. You control click on this button one more time, but you don't drag it here. You drag it in these squiggly lines, not outside, in these squiggly lines, and you let go. So give the button a name. I'm going to do go to screen 2. Go to screen 2 button. And then what you do is under there's a type, any. Click the drop down arrow and click a UI button and connect. That's it, a UI button. So now, let's go ahead and run this. It's gonna take a while. Just run it again. I don't know what's happening. There should be no errors. It's just sometimes it does this. Sometimes it needs like ages to load. Let me try an iPhone 12 Pro. So now what do we have here? So we have a screen 1 and a button. So when you click the screen 1 and the button, when you click the button, it takes us to this page. So can you see? Screen 1, button. When you click the button, it takes us to screen 2. But you may be thinking, I want another button, so we are going to do that now. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a button here, and when we click that, it takes us to another button. But also, if you realize that the screen 1, it's not actually in the middle. Even though on the iPhone 11, in the view controller, which is the iPhone 11, because the view controller is called an iPhone 11, it's in the middle. But when we run it on an iPhone 12, which is a completely different phone, it's bigger, it's not in the middle. So the reason why it's not in the middle is because it's not constrained to the actual middle. It's not glued. So how you do this is you go to the screen 1, you click on the label, and you go to these little drop down arrows. From there you click this one, the one that has like things surrounding that little square. All you do is you just tick that, and add 4 constraints. That's all you do. And then you do the same thing with the button. So I'm going to do another video on this. It's going to be in way more detail. So watch my other video that's going to come out. So now what we need to do is, let me just change this to an iPhone 11. What I suggest to do is try make the simulator phone over here the same as the view controller phone. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make a new button. So find this little X here and just click it to exit out of that. Now what we need to do is we need to add another view controller. So type a view controller, and then you need to add another button. So click the button, control, click on the button, drag it to the third view controller, let go, present as a popover, and then let me just add a label over here saying screen 3, and then from there you can add another button and another button. It's just a bit of a pain to do. So then go to the lines assistant. Now we need to reference this button in code. So there's going to be a little error here, and I'll show you. So now if you want to click this button, it's going to take us to all of this. It's like, what is all of this? So I'll tell you right now. So just exit out of this. The reason why when we click on this button it takes us to the code, but when we click on this button it takes us to like a random piece of code that we don't even know. Like, I'll show you. Because this code is linked to this code, is linked to the view controller. But if you click on this, it's linked to something else. And so is this one. This one is also linked to someone else. So what we need to do is we need to click on the second view controller, click this, like on this bar, go to the bars up here, so can you see the loads of bars? This one is for the size and all of that. This one is especially for the size. Go to the one that looks like a newspaper, the fourth one. On class, click the drop down arrow and scroll down and click a view controller. Now what that does is now this view controller is linked to the view controller code. So now do the same thing with this. So now, if we were to go to the assistant, we click this button, hooray, it's linked to this code. So now all we do is we just click this, control, click, drag, let go, UI button, name it. Actually, let me go to screen 3, connect, then exit out of this. I've already done that. We've already done this, the control click on that one and pop over. So this should work. My iPhone 11, it should work because it was glitching out. It was like all black. It does that sometimes. Okay, it's working. Okay, good. So screen 1, button, click, takes you to screen 2. On screen 2, you click the button, it takes you to screen 3. So that's how you make a simple segue. In the next videos, the next more advanced videos where I do code, I'll be adding images, I'll be adding loads of different things like a login screen, and then from the login screen it'll take you to like a sign up, and then you can have like, I don't know, then you can have your messaging app or whatever. So that's how you do segues.